I will admit, Joker has political themes. Now, I'm going to give you all a warning. It is Monday after opening weekend, and there will be spoilers at some point, potentially because CNN might entertain some spoilers and mention them, and then I'll probably get into them as well. So you've been warned. Again, I will say it one more time. There will be spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie's amazing, by the way. It is, wow, it is a good movie. It is, and I'll say it, I said it before in the last video. Don't expect Marvel. Don't expect high-flying action. It is a light action, mostly drama, but nailed it. Really, really good. That being said, CNN has published an op-ed that claims Joker is a validation of the white male, the insidious white male anger that brought Donald Trump to power. Okay, stop. That's not true. The politics in the film are overtly left-wing, and Joker himself is a nihilist. Now, let's some spoilers here, okay? Basically, you quite literally have someone holding up a sign saying Thomas Wayne equals fascist. It says Wayne equals fascist. Yeah, they're protesting against fascism. Literally holding a sign saying that. The protesters are protesting wealth inequality. And quite literally, in the film, Thomas Wayne, billionaire industrialist guy, says on TV that these people are resentful of us and what we've earned, and they're all clowns. And that's the protest. And that's, so I won't get into too much, but let's just say this. You want to talk about Joker's validation, it's a nihilist who loves that he's being propped up by far left protesters. That's about it. His protesters, literally Antifa. Well, let's read some of the opinion and break down the insidious validation of Trump's America. You know, hold on. It's just like, it's a movie, dude. I understand there's politics in it, but calm down. Joker, the Todd Phillips movie that reimagines the origins of Batman's killer clown nemesis, opened this weekend to record-setting box office. Yes, it did, and it is an amazing movie. Fueled by deft marketing and some of the most polarizing critical reaction of any mass market film in decades. Further fueling the hype around the movie, a shocking Golden Lion win at the Venice International Film Festival, and a joint bulletin from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security warning about the online threats at Joker screenings. Set in a very thinly disguised New York City, Phillips' version of the Joker story has as its protagonist Arthur Fleck, a middle-aged, working-class man who lives with his invalid mother. Fleck works as a clown for hire while fantasizing about romancing the lovely single mother who lives down the hall. Yeah, he does, a little bit. But I will stress, the movie doesn't make any points about Joker's relationships outside of him fantasizing that he has this beautiful woman egging him on. That's really it. If anything, I would argue there's some aspect of him wishing he had a woman, but not that his resentment is rooted in it. In fact, his resentment is rooted in people being mean and making fun of him. So it's more about a nihilistic thing, not an incel thing, which is what the media was trying to push. He's brutalized by young thugs. Oh, this is great. Just wait for this. He's brutalized by young thugs. He's beaten by suit-clad Wall Streeters. And his answer to his dual pincer of oppression by people of color and 1%ers is a murderous rampage of revenge. It's not, well, kind of. I wouldn't call it a rampage. It's action light, which catches fire among fellow angry citizens of Gotham and sends them looting through the streets. All right, spoiler time. Okay, I already warned you. He's being beaten up by 3 dudes. In self-defense, he kills 2 of them. But then, when you can see where he snaps, he chases the guy down, the last guy, and executes him. So you can see that he's being beaten, and so he reacts in self-defense. Was it over the top? Yeah, I mean, he shot a guy, killed him. But then he chases the guy down. What ends up happening is people assume this was an attack on Wall Street or 1%ers, and that it was a wealth inequality reaching that apex where the poor were finally having enough of the rich. The logo starts to appear, the phrase, kill the rich, appears everywhere in newspapers, the protesters wearing clown masks, emulating what they think he was doing. Joker himself, total nihilist. He just, at the end, has it was funny, but they don't care, they prop him up. So no, not right wing, not Trump, left wing, please. Well, here's what he goes on to say. While many reviewers have focused on Fleck as an incel hero, not true. His status as a sexless loner who turns to violence, please, that is not the case. The true nature of the movie's appeal is actually broader. Here we go. It's an insidious validation of the white male resentment that helped bring President Donald Trump to power. Bravo, CNN op-ed. You have taken a movie about the Joker and turned it into white male resentment a validation of white male resentment helping Trump come to power. You've taken so much and mashed it all together. I'm truly impressed. Joker at its core is the story of the forgotten man, the metaphoric displaced and disenfranchised white man whose goodwill has been abused and whose status has been reduced. A man who has been crushed underfoot by the elite, dragged down by equality-demanding feminists, and climbed over by upstart non-white and immigrant masses. That is not in the movie at all. None of that. It's literally a dude. I'll tell you what, man. If anything motivated him, it's that he used to go to therapy, and the city services get cut. And now he has no medication and no therapist, and he gets angry about it. And it's a factor that he brings up in the movie. What are they talking about? This is insane. This is the problem I have. It's like, dude, the guys, they did a clever mix of nihilism, left, right. You know, some people have said that Thomas Wayne could easily be, you know, a right-wing industrialist billionaire mocking the poor, or it could be Hillary Clinton calling people deplorables. It could go either way. Now, I think it's fair to point out the protesters are very clearly left-wing, fine. They're not nihilists. They're demanding, you know, wealth equality. But this is, like, if you watch that movie and this is what you got, you're nuts. I'm sorry, dude. You've lost it completely. Dragged down by equality-demanding feminists? That's not in the movie. Climbed over by upstart what? Dude's a clown. He works with clowns. And then he goes and he kills some rich people. That's what happened. If anything, you can say it's what gave rise to the resentment that gave rise to Bernie Sanders. It's equally as absurd. It's a movie. Phillips clearly wants Joker to yank at the chains of a society that has increasingly found his shock-fueled style of storytelling less relevant and more problematic. Are you joking, dude? It broke a box office record. They're finding the storytelling less relevant. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. When everybody showed up, sure. It's worth noting that since Phillips' breakthrough hit The Hangover, his box office totals have trended downward in almost linear fashion, and now he's recovered it. How about that? This goal was made explicit in Phillips' attacks on the outrage culture of the far left, and is extended. No, that was probably likely due to the media not shutting up and saying insane stuff like this. Joker at its core is a story of the forgotten man. Feminists aren't in the movie, and neither are immigrants. That's just not in the movie. Okay, major spoiler. I'll try to keep it light. But at the end, in this great final joke, he directly references the shuttering of public services. I kid you not. He directly references the shuttering of public services. And that's the finale. Like, that's the end. What did you watch? And even I'm willing to recognize he's a nihilist. He is not left-wing. The protesters like what he's saying. They want to tear down the system, so yes. But what are you talking about? This is just like somebody... You know what I love? There was a tweet where the person said, I've just written my 13,000 word review of the Joker. I can't wait to go see it on Friday. Exactly. This dude did not see the movie. He's jumping on a trend. He read other articles. He's regurgitating a game of telephone of other articles he read. I really, really doubt he actually saw the movie. When did this article come out? What is this? This is from yesterday. Okay, it's from yesterday. So yeah, maybe he did see it, but I don't believe it. If that's what he thinks, that's nuts. After watching Joker, it's easy to decode what Phillips really meant in his quote. And it's the same thing that fired SNL cast member Shane Gillis meant when he excused his repeated use of racist, misogynist, and homophobic slurs as pushing boundaries. It draws from the same well of resentment that Trump strums with his racist rhetoric at his rallies. This is just, they've lost the plot, man. Then he gets into Richard Nixon. I love where we're at. Isn't it funny? You know, this is why so many people are using the symbol of the Joker when referencing politics. Tell me this was not an Onion article. No, I kid you not. This is perfect. It's so close to being an Onion article. Actually, r/not the Onion. Okay, on Reddit. Not the Onion. He's actually talking about forgotten Americans in 1968's Richard Nixon. Trump in his 2016 victory speech. You people have lost it. It's the Joker. It is not the Trump. If the movie was called Trump and it's a guy with like a wig and like an orange, fake tan dancing, sure, I get it if you wrote about that. But this is Batman. It is literally a comic book movie. You're making all this up and shoehorning in Donald Trump. This isn't the first time Phillips and Trump's worlds have collided. When his last film, War Dogs, came out, Phillips said in an interview with Little White Lies, also there's a thing going on right now where the world as a whole is waking up to the fact the system is rigged. It happens to be Trump's theme. Yeah, and it's Bernie Sanders. The DNC robbed Bernie. The media is biased against Bernie and Tulsi, and we get it. It is not about Trump. At the end of the movie, a triumphant Fleck, seemingly dead, but magically revived by the cheers of a throng of clown-masked riders, does a grotesque soft shoe on the top of a shattered cop car, literally dancing on the destroyed remains of the rule of law. Imagine Fleck as Trump. Oh no! Shrugging off impeachment, rebounding with his roaring red-headed supporters, winning re-election against every prediction and probability. Phillips, I love it, man. You know, sometimes the stories are so insane, you just can't help but laugh. What did the Joker say? He's got that line, I used to think my life was a tragedy, but now I've realized it's a comedy. Yep. And that's the joke that everyone's making. That politics today isn't a tragedy, it's a comedy. This is hilarious. CNN actually published this. You are insane. Stick around, I got one more segment coming up that's equally as absurd. Yeah, it's getting bad out there. I'll see you in a few minutes.